Look at the selvage edge. Christmas is just round the corner, so we have to get ready for all the events we are going to get invited to, supposedly. And I thought that for an office lunch, you will need something comfortable to wear from the morning to that lunch time or even dinner. So I thought it would be really nice to make a tweed dress, something really 60s tweedy style. And I have this lovely tweed. It only cost me €8.50 a meter. It was a bargain and it is lovely. I know it's a bit early to be thinking about this, but this way you have time to do it. So tweed is this beautiful fabric made out of wool, and I'm in love with it. Some people know it by Chanel fabric because this designer used it a lot, and I think it's just amazing. It's so elegant and chic. And I have a dilemma because I love the selvage edge. I know I shouldn't use it that often because I would like to use it on the bottom of the dress as the hemline, but that will mean cutting cross grain. Don't cut cross grain. I know. Don't do it. I know. Such a bad idea. I know. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to cut cross grain. I'm going to cut on the grain, and then I'll try to figure out if I can fray it a lot at the bottom to see how it does. And another thing is that most people use, I've been reading, and people use interfacing to make the fabric more stable because it's a bit whimsy. But I don't want to do that because that will mean the dress will be really stiff, and it will mean to use a lining inside, and it's a dress. I don't want to use a lining because I live in Tenerife, and doing that will mean I will roast in it. So make a lining for it. I know. Come on. I know I should do it. Do it. I'm not going to. I'm not going to line it. I'm not going to line it. So let's see if I don't regret it. The dress is going to be a simple dress, very 60s style, a shift dress, very tweedy style, and it's going to have a zipper on the back and patch pockets in which I am going to use the selvage edge. You can stop me. I'm going to need all my blocks, and once traced and cut, I'm going to serge all around the edges. I don't want to fray. I'm going to start by sewing the two back panels together so I can add the zipper and then sew to the front. The patch pockets are just top stitched to the front, and the sleeves, once they are sewn to the dress, I can think about zigzag stitching everything I want to fray. Of course, I'm going to be needing my blocks of measurements, the bodice, front, back, the skirt, which is only half, so I have to move it, and then of course the sleeve as well. And to trace the dress, I'm going to be putting the bodice and skirt together and trace around it. And the length, I'm going to be cutting it at 85 centimeters from the shoulder. It's what I measure. I think I like. If it's shorter, I'll be cutting it, but let's start with that. And with everything cut, I'm going to the serger, which apparently it is working. Let's not say it too loud. Everything serged, and I did everything except for the things that are going to be hemmed, just because I want to hem it by fraying it. So the bottom of the sleeves, the bottom of the dress, and even the neckline I left without serging because I want to leave it all frayed. but I'm not sure about the neckline. I'll see what we do here, but the rest of them, I'm going to do that. And after serging all this, I'm going to use the iron to press on top of the seams so they don't curl or do anything weird and they are in place. So I'm going to start by putting together the two back panels that hold the zipper, because that way I can work with one whole panel instead of two, and at the end it will be a bit more difficult, and that way I can pattern match the fibers, the little threads, the colors they have, so it's not twisted or in a different level. And there's a good method to sew zippers, which is to sew the two panels right sides together like it was a normal panel, and then open that seam with the iron and place the zipper on top. Once you do that and hold it with pins, you can top stitch on it and it will have a really nice finish. The problem is that you have to open the first seam you did with the seam ripper, which is very scary. This is a weapon, and it will distract every single thread it encounters. So I'm going to put it in a fabric that is basically threads. So I'm quite afraid I'm going to make a mess. So I'm going to go really slowly. Normally I will go really fast, and I've ripped material before, so I'm afraid of it anyways, but today even more. So I'm going to just go one by one, even though it takes forever, because I don't want to ruin it. Oh, that's lovely. I'm so pleased. I didn't have any accidents and it looks quite nice. So now that I know it's okay and I don't have to change anything, I'm going to top stitch the rest of the seam, so that way it's balanced, it looks nice. It's not necessary, but the seam will stay in place and it won't tickle my legs. Panel I left drafted where I want the darts, the bust darts, and it's the only thing I'm going to do to give it shape, because it's a shift dress and it's nothing else you can do really. It's a 60s style, so it's the only thing, just so the armhole area doesn't look baggy, but the rest of it is just like that. And with the darts made and pressed down, I can sew it to the back panel so I can try it on. The pockets I'm just going to top stitch all around them. I'm not going to fold in the fabric because I want them to have a bit of a more casual look. This kind of dress with this fabric is more formal, so I wanted to have an edgy look. This is how well we're doing, and now with the sleeves I'm going to sew the side seam on the sleeves quite quickly so I can attach them to the dress. I think I did it right, knowing which one is which, because it's quite difficult to know which is the wrong and right side of this fabric. I don't know if you could use it either way, but it's taking me a while to know. And to know which sleeve goes on which side, you just need to see which one is bulkier, so that means it's the back, and this one will mean that this is my right sleeve. So attaching it on the side seam and sewing all around the armhole, this will be sewn. And after sewing the sleeves, which I had no problems with them, I'm going to do the same I did with the pockets, with the neckline, bottom of the sleeves and hemline, but this time with a zigzag stitch. That way I can let it fray, but not to infinity and beyond, just to a certain point. So the zigzag stitch in white can't be seen at all, and I can still have that casual look. Tweed is such an elegant fabric. I was afraid the dress was going to look too formal, so I'm quite pleased with how the fraying looks, because it gives it that casual look. I love how the pockets look. You cannot see them because I pattern matched them, but you can see them because of the fraying. So I love how subtle they look. I didn't have any problem sewing the tweed at all. It was quite nice to sew, and of course I serge all the edges all around them, but if you don't have a serger, you can zigzag stitch or use the fake overlock foot, and that will give you nice results as well. I read you should interface it, but I didn't want to interface because it's a dress, so I thought it would look too stiff, and then you have to line it, and I didn't want to line it because it would be too hot here in Tenerife. So I'm quite pleased. It's not itchy for now, so let's see how I do with it. It was quite an easy dress to trace, and even though you don't have your blocks of measurements, you could trace it from a t-shirt you have, but I leave you the links anyways in case you want to have a look. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this kind of content, because I upload a video once a week, and give it a like. You can't imagine how good that is for the channel and how much I appreciate it. And I leave you as well another videos of winter dresses, so you can have a look. Bye!